Hello everyone, welcome back to Touch the Fire Twice. I'm Joshua, and I'm here today to do a Candle Day Part 1 haul and first impressions overview of one of the Candle Day collections of candles. But before we get into that, if you're new to Touch the Fire Twice, welcome. My mission here is to share my love and passion for fine home fragrance as an enthusiast, an educator, a reviewer, to inspire you to increase your own fragrance knowledge and understanding, ultimately enhancing the scent memories that you create. If you want to learn more about what I do, why I do it, how I do it, you can check out my website at TouchTheFireTwice.com. But for now, let's dig right into this. So, first of all, I hope anyone who checked out Candle Day, our Candle Day totes here, had a safe, fun, happy time, going through these, the luxury of being able to just go and spend money on something as, some might say frivolous, as candles and home fragrance. This was actually my first time kind of waiting for the store to open for Candle Day, maybe ever. I think I haven't been to a Candle Day probably since 2018. And before that, a couple of the times that I went, it was more so maybe early in the morning, but it wasn't get there in line before they open, which I know that the past few years especially, it's gotten even more and more wild and, huge event for candle fans and Bath & Body Works fans. I decided today that I wanted to go because there were some collections that I wanted to get my nose on and purchase, and knowing that they were the Candle Day exclusive releases, figured, okay, once they sell out in a day or two, they just may not be available, and I definitely wanted to get some of those. And quite honestly, the fact is that now the $9.95 plus, the 10 off 40 coupon, so $9 and change, price range for these candles really is almost a better deal now than when they were $8.95 2 or 3 years ago, in the sense that the base price of the candles has increased pretty significantly now to, I think, $26.95 for a lot of them even. And so when you get a 10 off sale, that's still $16 or $17. If you have a 20% off coupon on top of that, all right, you're in the $13 range, but you're not really hugging that $11 range like you did for a long time, or even maybe 10 and change range you did for a long time with the old promotional prices and putting your coupons on top of that. So really the $9.95 or 9 and change is a stronger deal, I think, than in past years. So I also wanted to get in there for that, just for some holiday backups that I enjoy. So this will be multi-part videos, because if I only did one video, I'd really have to fly through the candles, just list out what they are, not really get into my first impressions or my borderline in-depth sniff reviews on these, which is what I tend to enjoy to get into. And so I'll break these up. So there will be some videos here that are, collection focused. Others will be, when my online haul comes in, because I did order some online exclusives. There were a couple good ones online that I ordered last night for the My BBW Rewards pre-sale. I will put in some footage here because it was actually, I was surprised. Hearing the past few years, people have said it's wild. People get in line at 3, 4 in the morning. It's, people really like Walmart 2002 style Black Friday of just like grabbing and just like chaos. And it wasn't that at all. I went to a mall that really is like one of the largest malls, probably the top 20 largest malls in America. So it's big. It's really like flagship mall. Certainly the Bath & Body Works White Barn Candle Company there is the biggest in the district, which is, I imagine, a pretty large district in sort of the Mid-Atlantic Northeast area. And I got there 15, 20 minutes before it opened at 6 a.m. and there were 2 other people waiting for it. And when it opened at 6, 7 or 8 of us went in, and I was there for 40 minutes. And by the time I left, maybe 20, 22 people were milling about, which was great. I was thrilled. I have some footage here just because, kind of like a visual merchandiser's dream or a candle lover's dream, walking into the store with stacks and stacks and stacks of candles, kind of the idealized version of what Bath & Body Works' marketing team wants everyone to see and experience versus kind of the reality of chaos or just candles strewn about by the end of the day at any Bath & Body Works store, I'm sure, on Candle Day, day 1 and day 2. So kind of fun to see that, a nice experience, and it really was easy to get in, sniff what I wanted, and get out, which also I still mask, so that also is a plus for me. Less people, always a good thing. But all that said, I want to review this first collection, which is, I believe, unofficially called the Merry Mashups collection, and on the label it just says Blends by Bath & Body Works. So this is a follow-up to the, was it summer semi-annual sale? This collection here, where you had sort of like the fresh balsam and pineapple mango, you had Paris Cafe and cinnamon spice vanilla, those blends, which I really enjoyed some of those. And there's a new collection of 5, of which I've purchased 4 of them. So in this, I will give my first impression and borderline in-depth sniff review, though not full-on comparison of pulling candles from my vault to say this, not this, like this sort of thing, like I often do. But wanted to get my nose on them and get this out to you, because if you do watch this today, maybe we'll get a chance to see it and purchase these online or in-store based on some of my thoughts and opinions and advice on them. First, I'll just give a quick overview of the one that I did not purchase, the Ocean Driftwood and White Gardenia mashup. Now for me, Ocean Driftwood, it's so closely related to mahogany teakwood. It's kind of a been there, done that, not super interested in it. It is sort of an entryway for folks who want kind of the more traditionally masculine-esque or cologne-based sense, since of course mahogany teakwood is the Abercrombie & Fitch cologne from decades ago. But Ocean Driftwood is a very close, sister scent to that. So not a huge fan generally of it. And it tends to kind of overpower any blends or, the variations of mahogany this or teakwood that, or in this case, driftwood this or that. And the White Gardenia, I like the scent of gardenias sort of in the wild or in the real world. The candle for me is just a little too heady, a little too robust, kind of right in your nose, not quite nuanced enough as I would like a gardenia candle to be. In fact, LAFCO has a beautiful fresh cut gardenia candle that I highly recommend if you really do love true authentic gardenia scents. That is my go-to for that. And so sipping that, it was kind of the best parts of Ocean Driftwood and White Gardenia, but the remaining four, there was one I was really, really excited about, a second that I thought might be okay, and then two that I wasn't so certain. And I'm so far surprisingly pleased. I actually like this Merry Mashups Blends collection better than the first one that came out. So I really hope they keep doing this. I would love for them just to every season have 5-10 of these. I think it's really fun. It is an elevation for a lot of these blends because you're taking blends that might be not basic, but slightly more simple, sometimes with maybe 4 or 5 notes. They give us 3 to 4. There are often 5 to 7, 10 or 11 on any candle that is truly kind of a master perfumer or perfumer built fragrance, which many of these are, as we've learned over the years. And when you take a slightly simpler candle and combine it with another one, you're really just kind of elevating and making, as they say, of course, a blend, but you're taking maybe 70% of each, finding the right way to layer them. I truly do believe that it is a combination, though not just let me take this formula and mix. It is still built, and I think some things are, the levels are tweaked, some things are pulled out, some things are added to it to make something that is cohesive and smells good, because there's so much science behind it that it can't be as simple as, mix and stir, melt, mix and stir at home, right? But I just think that they're really fun for fragrance lovers to say, oh, I really like this scent, and man, those would be great together. So many of us, Sneeko the Diva, she always talks about blending and cocktailing her candles and saying, I like this with this, and giving you those ideas of, hey, if you have a lot of candles, you might as well try to burn through them and enjoy them and get these new experiences. And this is an entryway to do that directly from Bath & Body Works. So let's dig into the first one I was most excited about, and that is cinnamon spice vanilla and hot cocoa and cream. I really enjoy the hot cocoa and cream candle. I've said that in other reviews, in the haul I did a few weeks back. It seems so basic, and it is, because it smells like, powdered cocoa powder, kind of Swiss Miss hot cocoa and cream, but it is so authentic. It is rich, it is warm, it is not cloying, it is strong but not cheaply overpowering. It's just a really well executed, authentic to what it's supposed to be fragrance, and mixing it with cinnamon spice vanilla, which is essentially the cinnamon sugar donut from way back when, with maybe a little bit of a tweak over the decades since it came out. Really another one of my favorites because it is so unique, so authentic. A simple name, cinnamon sugar donut. Every mass market candle brand has that, but few actually smell like the cinnamon spice vanilla and cinnamon sugar donut from Slacken era that Bath & Body Works still brings back most of the time. So combining these two, I was really intrigued, partially because to me, just reading the label, this is essentially like a Mexican hot chocolate, Mexican hot cocoa. Sometimes people think, oh, it's gotta have like cayenne or chipotle or heat to it. Yeah, sometimes, but more so traditionally it's gonna have Ceylon cinnamon to it. Just like most of the time Mexican coffee is also going to have Ceylon cinnamon to it. And it just adds the most beautiful, warm, rich spice, but not spicy, not red hot, not pungent, a soft, true soft baking spice that is just so beautiful with Ceylon cinnamon. I'm such a fan. And so knowing that, well, hey, we're taking cinnamon spice vanilla, so cinnamon vanilla, and the hot cocoa, that's really like a Mexican hot chocolate. Notes on here, decadent milk chocolate, ground cinnamon, vanilla bean. Sure. And the label, I didn't talk about the art direction here. Just sort of a simple tie-dye. It reads very summery to me, which I don't love. I don't hate the label, but they're very mismatched from the season that they are selling in, though most of them are more summery scents, so it does make sense. It just feels funny to be purchasing them now. Sniffing it, it is not the immediate slam dunk that I thought it would be. I do like it. I would like it to be a little stronger. There's something, I almost wonder, we had those fishy lids a season or two ago. And to me, some of these lids that I've sniffed today have a little bit of a mustiness, almost like a moldiness to them. Very, very mild, not knock you down, something that most people may not notice. But for me, I'm just like, it smells a tiny bit musty. I think this will burn nicely because you do get a fairly good balance of the hot cocoa and the cinnamon, but the cinnamon I wish was a little bit stronger. I get more of like the vanilla sort of cakey donut that's traditionally within cinnamon spice vanilla. Creaminess from the hot cocoa and cream, but it almost feels like the cinnamon and the cocoa are toned down in those, whereas the spice vanilla and the cream are primary players here with a little bit of a tanginess to it. So not what I expected. I still got a few of them because I'm excited about it, and I believe they should kind of open up when melted, and if not, I'll exchange them. But I am excited about this, and I'm hopeful that it will be really good. But on first sniff, it's not the, oh man, get a palate of them sort of thing. Not that I really ever back up to that extent. But worth getting your nose on because of the uniqueness factor, and it is a blend of two really great fragrances. Then going into the remaining three here. So sugared lemonade and blueberry sugar. I have to admit, I don't think I've ever purchased either of those candles individually. I've purchased many lemon-based candles at Bath & Body Works and many blueberry-based candles at Bath & Body Works, but those two specifically, I have not purchased to my memory. Certainly blueberry pie and blueberries and cream and different blueberries over the years, and many different fresh lemons and zesty lemons and kitchen lemons and all that, but I don't think sugared lemonade specifically. But notes on this one: sweet blueberries, fresh lemon juice, sugar crystals. Pretty straightforward. This is one of those candles that's like, well, geez, this almost doesn't seem like two separate candles combined, because really it's blueberry lemonade, which is, there's pomegranate lemonade and watermelon lemonade and blah, blah, blah lemonade. Insert any fruit here lemonade. So it really is a cohesive, yes, it's a mashup based on these two existing candles, but less of a blend as compared to some of these other two, as far as sometimes like when the pineapple mango and the fresh balsam were put together, you're like, what is that? What's going on? This is very obvious, which is fine. Sniffing it though, it's really nice. And for me, this smells almost identical, but I don't believe it's a repackage of pomegranate lemonade. It was a 2009, 10, 11 Slacken & Co. Summer Classic. I actually put it in my Slacken & Co. from the Vault, Harry Bring Them Back summer video about a year ago at this point. And it came out twice in the past, really like 5-10 years. Once, I believe it was 2020, and then very briefly, actually a year ago now, 2021 into 2022, for semi-annual sale, the holiday semi-annual sale, they released a small batch of them in White Barn core packaging, and they have not been seen since then. I stocked up because it is one of the best summer scents. It is juicy and bright and tangy and very heavy on the sugar crystals and very authentic, and just one of those, as Kent of Candle Channel always says, like juicy. Like for me, I just want to bite into the candle. It is such a juicy scent and very authentic, because a lot of fruit and fruit juices and punches just lean quite artificial. Pomegranate lemonade is, to me, incredibly authentic, and this reminds me a lot of it in a good way. I would have to do side by side, because I do think the pomegranate lemonade is probably actually a bit stronger, which is kind of par for the course these days. But this is just a perfect balance of, the blueberry is not artificial or candied blueberry. It kind of is that almost tannic, fresh blueberry bite that you get with a true raw blueberry, and not a blueberry candy or blueberry Jolly Rancher. Almost kind of that sugared raz a bit to that as well. And that lemonade is a nice, it's not acidic, it's not super natural, it's very much sugary and zesty, which also works for this. Sniffing it now, I'm like, gosh, I feel like, I hope it is strong when it burns, because I definitely can smell it, but I could see this being one that gets lost a little bit. Like it smells more like a 5, 6 when you'd expect something like this to potentially be a 7, 8, 9, but really pretty blend for anyone who loves lemonade scents, sugary summer fruity scents. That's a great one, I believe. Then we'll go into the final two. Let's start with this one here. Aloha Kiwi Passionfruit and Tiki Beach. Tiki Beach, love that. That first was launched in 2011 or 12 under sort of a Slacken & Co. Tropical Escape, I think like midwinter spring collection. Really enjoy that. For me, it's like kind of an upscale tropical resort scent where you have kind of some sort of, you got some floral in there, whether it's like a lotus or that very like hot white floral to me, mixed with a musky, warm, sensual kind of vanilla and a strong acidic pineapple, like a raw, fresh pineapple. And I think it's just such a pretty scent. I got a little tired of it over the years because it's come out constantly. It is very, very popular, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's a really beautiful summer scent. Aloha Kiwi Passionfruit. Never been the biggest fan of that. Again, referencing back to Kent Candle Channel, he has said that it's just too much, kind of fake, artificial. I would tend to agree. A lot of the tropical scents from the past 4 to 6 years for me are just all same. There's really not much nuance between them. Different names, different packaging, different colors of wax, but and different scent stories, but very interchangeable in many ways. Getting off track. So actually I've never purchased Aloha Kiwi Passionfruit. There was one year I sniffed it and there was something about it, I'm not sure what the note was, but it actually felt like, I don't know if there was juniper in there almost, or something where it felt almost like a borderline sister summer scent to Sweater Weather. There was something in there that, not that it was, a duplicate of or a tweak of or repackaged with a twist, as Little Balladeer used to say, but there was something in there that felt in the family of Sweater Weather, and so I almost bought it and I didn't, and I don't regret not buying it. All that to say, let's dig into this one with notes of tropical passion fruit, radiant kiwi, toasted coconut, and vanilla musk. This is really nice. I might need to buy another one of these. Surprisingly so, because it sweetens up the Tiki Beach, so it makes it a little bit less of that kind of vanilla musk, less sensual, less mature, less high-end indulgent resort style. So, which could be a mark against this candle in that sense, but it makes it more approachable. I think more people would like it, and it's a little more everyday in a good way. Because Tiki Beach, I'm like, there are specific times that I want to burn that in the summer. This one gives me the Tiki Beach vibe, but I could burn it all the time. And the Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit, so specifically the kiwi and the passion fruit in here, it just pulls in the sweetness of it. I think it really feels like top notes being some of the pineapple from Tiki Beach, the kiwi, that really tanginess, the passion fruit, which is going to give you that sort of tropical fruit essence. But it really has a nice base from the vanilla, the musk, and I think some sort of floral in the background there that we get from our Tiki Beach, though they don't mention it here. They mention toasted coconut. I suppose that's from, I think, the Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit, not certain. But just a creamy background, very, very little from the coconut. Maybe just almost like a coconut leaf sort of vibe to it, but sweet, a bit powdery, a good blend of fruits and tropical florals. Really, really nice with that one. And then finally, I was excited about this one, Cinnamon Stick and Waikiki Beach Coconut. Cinnamon Stick, that's an old from the vault, like 2010 scent that has kind of come back, and I don't think people pay much attention to it, and sometimes it's seasonal, and sometimes it's just in the core collection, sometimes it's just in wallflowers, but it's pretty straightforward with a true cinnamon. It's not your cinnamon and clove buds. It's really gonna be pretty straightforward cinnamon stick, maybe some vanilla in there as well. I believe it's more so the cassia cinnamon, the sort of Saigon, Vietnamese, Indonesian cinnamon versus your Ceylon cinnamons, a pungent, strong, spicy, that red hot cinnamon, as we see here in the reddish wax. And then Waikiki Beach Coconut, I think that's one that a lot of folks really do enjoy. To me, it's in the Aloha Kiwi Passion Fruit family as far as scents that came out probably like, 2013 to 2016. Pretty popular hits, but nothing that I've ever really connected to. My kind of scent memory and attachment is to the coconut leaves and the island margarita and some of those older scents that I just have that fondness for and really appreciate those fragrances. Not to say I don't like new fragrances, but Waikiki Beach Coconut hasn't been one that's really been on my radar much. Notes on this though: vanilla, fresh coconut cream, big difference from the coconut meat or the coconut shavings or toasted coconut, all that. Dash of nutmeg and cinnamon stick. Now, a lot of folks were saying from the jump that this may be similar to Tropical Spice, which I love Tropical Spice. It was a 2010-11 Slack & Co. from the vault, came back for 1 or 2 seasons a couple years back, and it is just this beautiful mix of tropical fruits and kind of nectars, a little bit of a tropical floral in there, like a tropical fruit blossom. You have some rum in there. You've got a bit of a creamy coconut in the background, maybe. And then this warming cinnamon, very much the Ceylon cinnamon. Now it's funny, they say, you know, online for this specifically, they say that it's like a coconut colada with winter spices. Well, let's talk about that. Like, cinnamon and nutmeg, yes, in the US and America, people very often associate that with holiday, winter. That's also when they're trying to sell the candle, makes sense. But I mean, Ceylon cinnamon is incredibly popular in Mexico. It's in so many things in Mexican cuisine, and it's the tropics. And Ceylon cinnamon originated in Sri Lanka, where the average temperature is 80 degrees year round. So not winter, not, you know, cold weather or whatever, but whatever, that's their marketing, it is what it is. Let's get my nose on it here. I love this. It is exceedingly close to tropical spice, and I'm fine with it. Doesn't have the booziness that tropical spice may have, and it might be a little bit thinner, but I mean, what they say that it's the vanilla, the coconut, the cinnamon stick. What they're not calling out here that I do believe is there are some tropical nectars, some tropical fruits in here, because this is much more than just vanilla, coconut, and spices. That would be something a bit removed or simpler, I think, than this. It's just so nice. It's kind of warming. I don't so much get the nutmeg, though. Nutmeg is a softer spice, especially when you pair it with the cinnamon. I will have to compare this side by side with tropical spice because it is quite similar. Perhaps I really enjoy these because, you know, two of my faves, tropical spice and pomegranate lemonade, are like, again, very, you know, cousin scents to these, and I'm not complaining, because if people love this and buy this, then maybe BBW will realize those scents from the vault are worth bringing back, whether they're considered blends or whatever. But really, these, for me at least on first sniff, are home runs, I'd say, for the most part. Really happy with these. I would love for there to have been a holiday or fall blends collection, like, because the first one came out in the summer and then this one came out now, it's almost like, well, those were pretty summery and these are exceedingly summery. Like, give us some beautiful Christmas, holiday, fall, whatever it may be, blends. I hope to see a blends collection again before, you know, mid next year, of some spring, since this is just setting us straight to primarily summer and fruity, you know, cocktails and drinks and tropics. But I'm a big fan of the Merry Mashups, whatever mashups, the blends collection. It's a long video. There are a fair number of additional candle hauls to come in the coming days where I'll spread them out just so we don't get Candle Day overload. But thank you for watching. Let me know what you purchased, what you think of the Merry Mashups and Blends collections. And until next time, take care.